It took Ash years to get through his first challenge.
Sorry it took him so long. It didn't take me years.
I still don't see how the fuck it could only be 1 year.
That's what he said at the third Pokemon movie during the Unknown. It was like with Unknown and Entei. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, but they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah, because you mentioned in Black and White they still say it's 1 year, so I guess he's just perpetually only 1 year older.
Maybe he's in a fucking coma and he's just dreaming about this. And at the end of the series, when everything is done, he's gonna wake up and he's gonna be pissed off because he has to go back to school and he's 25.
I think I read something about that on 4chan or something. Like, they had some
Oh
really
yeah,
bizarre theory.
it's a creepypasta type thing. I've read one of those stupid creepypastas where it's a theory that every baby from Rugrats is really dead and they're all in Angelica's head.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. You guys are dark.
What's the evidence to support that theory?
Just some of the, like, they said that Chucky was, what was it? A miscarriage, and that's why his father is always so timid and shit. And that Tommy was an aborted fetus. It's like, the fuck is wrong with you?
So if you
Rape my childhood, please.
So if you notice, I did most of over half damage on that Geodude. I was able to take it out in 2 hits. Part of that is because Bubble does 4 times the regular damage because it's both rock and ground type. And part of that is because...
And part of it is because it was touched as a child.
Maybe that, but what I was going to say is this Squirtle actually has higher special than most other Squirtles. It was actually, if you're really into the mechanics of Pokemon, you might have heard of IVs before, which are random values that are set. I think in Generation 1 it's between 1 and 16. And this is actually a really high independent powers. It's like in the top 20% or so, and that's what's allowing me to do all that damage to Geodude. And I actually had to restart several times in order to make sure I had the optimum Squirtle.
The ultimate Squirtle. Faster, stronger, tougher than any other Squirtle.
That's right.
He is the god of Squirtles.
You know it.
Other Squirtles see him and they bow. They offer their fertile Squirtles to give him little Squirtles.
I could say something so boring and monotonous and technical, and you can always turn it into something entertaining.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, that's because I have no idea what the fuck you just said. My ideal with Pokemon is I look at Pokemon I think are cool and I don't give a fuck about their stats. And you're over here talking about, well, I had to restart several times for the IVs. And I'm just like, okay, I know what that means.
So I want to not spend too much time in the Pokemon Center. That just takes away more time than is necessary. So I try to get extra potions at the mart instead.
What's a potion?
I mean potions. It's a thing that restore your health.
Oh. I wasn't trying to be a smartass. I honest to God, I didn't know what a potion was.
I actually originally thought it was potion. It was only later that I found out it was pronounced potion.
Well, I always played shit like that with either my older brother or my father. So I asked, what does that word say? And they go, potion, you dumbass. So, yay for family. Because I got this game back when I was 6. My brother gave me my first Game Boy. And he just kind of tossed in the game as a cycle. It's like, here, I already beat it, it's boring. It's like, yay! I get sloppy seconds. So what's your favorite type of Pokemon?
What do you mean exactly by type? Like water, fire, that sort of thing?
Yes.
Probably steel types, just because they have the most defense. They're the only type that can resist dragon moves. They have so many resistances to very common types, like normal types, rock types.
Okay.
They also have immunity to poison.
Now, what's your favorite type out of looks and because they're awesome?
Maybe dragons?
Okay, there you go. That's what I was going for. Not because of technicalities. It's like, well, my favorite type, because they're just so easy to play, is... It's like, no. My favorite type because they're fucking metal. It's like, my favorite type are ghost types. Not because they're easy to play or because they make the game easy. It's because they're fucking metal.
I think, actually, they were... Dark and Steel types were introduced in the second generation. So Magnemite and Magneton were actually just transformed into Steel and Steel types in the second generation, but in the first generation they're just plain old electric types.
That's a bad thing?
Yeah.
Electric types are cool.
True, but it's even cooler if you add on a Steel type, in my opinion.
Of course, in your opinion, because Steel types are just amazing. They could resist the most common of attributes. You ain't gonna tackle a Steel type, oh hell no. You tackle a Steel type, it'll break your fucking neck. Like, hey, if you say so. My favorite Pokemon happens to be part Steel type, so I guess I'm making myself a hypocrite.
I thought your favorite Pokemon was Zapdos.
It's one of my all-time favorite Pokemon is Scizor.
So I hate this move Wrap here in the first generation. It's absolutely awful. I'm glad they changed it, but they should have changed it earlier. And I can kind of understand with Fire Spin, because that's supposed to be like the ultimate fire move. But just giving something as good as Wrap to something like Ekans, that's just ridiculous. And
Well, it's a fucking snake. It makes sense. It's long and skinny. It's going to wrap around you. It's what a snake does.
Yeah, but the problem is, I just think the move in general is just too overpowered, because the problem is if my opponent is faster, then I'm not even going to get a chance to attack at all if it continues to use Wrap over and over. It's just going to keep continuing and continuing and continuing forever.
I think they should have continued to make it overpowered, because think of it this way. A lot of Pokemon that have Wrap kinda suck. So that's all they really can rely on.
I'm not sure. I mean, some of them suck, but some of them don't. For example, Dragonite gets Wrap.
It sucks.
Dragonite sucks?
I think so. I don't like it. It's a fat-ass dragon. It's like the Chris Farley of the dragon family.
I think it's actually the only dragon in the first generation. Well, unless you include its pre-evolutions, which are Dragonair and Jirachi.
Like, I love Dragonair is fucking awesome. It's a giant serpent in the sky, and then all of a sudden it evolves into dirt! Sorry, something went wrong in the evolution. Apparently our final stage is a fat bastard.
I think you can actually just catch Dragonairs like on level 15 or something in the Safari Zone with the Super Rod, and it's always kind of puzzled me because Dragonair evolves on level 30. So how do all these Pokemon evolve in the wild on a lower level than they evolve when you're training them? Is it like the trainers are making them worse, or is it like the trainers are demotivating them from evolved? Or how does that
work?
So there are drugs in the wild.
Drugs. It's like that, in Crystal, you face a dude who has a Pidgeot that's level 9 when it doesn't evolve till like 15 or 16.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, did you just inject the motherfucker with steroids?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Like, what the hell? How can you do that? Because I want to do that. I want a level 2 Charizard.
Me too.
That would be awesome. It's like, that's great. I want a level, like, 6 Blastoise. I don't know how they do that. Maybe they just beat the shit out of them until they evolve.
Could be.
Natural selection. Maybe the level 15 Dragonairs you see were the bitches of the forest and they had to evolve.
I never thought of it that way.
It's like, I don't evolve, I'm gonna get raped. Sorry, I've got a bit of a cold.
So it's just a matter of willpower then.
I don't know, maybe. Like, maybe that Faulkner dude liked to kick his Pidgey around. Like maybe the Pidgey wasn't used for anything, it was just his beat-up toy. Like whenever he walked into the house, the first thing he'd do was kick the Pidgey across the room. Then the Pidgey evolved into a Pidgeot and pecked his fucking balls out.
There's one thing I'd like to point out. The bubble animation is actually shorter than the tackle animation. So that's very useful for speedrun, because over time, it may not seem like much, but it actually takes up less time to use bubble than tackle. Now if you notice, Water Gun has that regular flashing animation, even though it's a little more powerful.
Oh, okay. I'll take your word for it. I'm not sure. Sure?
Even though I have animations off, they still have those short animations for either shaking the screen or the Pokemon flashing, and the shaking the screen one is faster.
Those sons of bitches! I specifically requested no animation. Here they are giving me animation.
It's a travesty.
Who do they think they are?
Outrageous.
If I could say their names right, I'd curse them. I suck with Japanese names.
I'm not too good with them either.
It's like, my name is Bao Kwang He Shang Mo. Okay.
You know, this is actually my first Pokemon Center visit in the game so far.